Welcome to the Under the Bus podcast. I am your host, Merge. I'm here with Clayton. What's going on, Clayton?
Hi.
So, NBA season is in full swing. It's a great time. Basketball is back, and everyone's happy. So we're mainly going to get into the Lakers season thus far, but before we did that, I wanted to talk about the NBA as a whole, how teams are surprising, teams are disappointing, individual stuff like that. So I'm going to start with this, and I don't know if I say this is my biggest surprise, but my biggest person that isn't like a Giannis type player who is like impressing me the most is Ben Simmons. Obviously for the Philadelphia 76ers. I mean, he hasn't had a game where he's had under 11 points, and he's had multiple 18-plus point games. I think right now he's averaging I'm gonna look it up real fast. But he's been putting up like baby LeBron numbers. Like he's been
very good.
Really good. Yeah. 17 points, 7.5 assists, and 9.5 rebounds. That's pretty good. He's been dominating, and he's been kind of following the Giannis guide to how to be good without a jump shot, and he's just been able to get to the basket with ease. And he's been making that team so much more better. And the two-man game with him and Joel Embiid has been just really awesome, honestly. And I know I think they're only 2-4.
Yeah, they're 3-4 now.
3-4 now? Okay. And their first two games they lost, they were really close games. I mean, they lost to the Wizards the first game in Washington, and that was a really, really close game that they probably would have won if Embiid would have played more minutes. They lost to Houston again about 5 days ago, and that was when Eric Gordon hit that buzzer beater right at the end, and that was another close game. They could very well be 5-1 right now, or 5-2 right now. Honestly, I mean, the whole team, besides the whole Markelle Fultz stuff, that's been weird, but the Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid have been awesome together, and they've been really fun to watch, and really just I thought Simmons was going to be good, but I thought he might be rusty to start off, but he hasn't shown any sort of rust at all. I mean, he's been just lighting the world on fire. Clayton, what do you have as sort of a surprise?
This is, It's not quite as big a surprise. It's kind of like just a Clayton favorite. It's Kelly Oubre.
And I'm with you on
in
that.
6 games, he started 5 games, and he's playing about 35 minutes a game. Averaging 11.5 points per game, shooting 44% from 3.
That's really good.
And shooting 75% from the line, grabbing 6 rebounds. The assist is just those are really kind of still non-existent. His PER isn't the best, and his win shares are okay. I mean, I'm still have no idea win shares per 48. I mean, that's one thing I'm very good at. But he's got a BPM of 2.3 and a VORP of 0.2. The PER, I have no idea why it's so bad, but he's shooting 15. His true shooting percentage is 59.2%, and total rebound percentage is 9.6, which is okay.
He's been playing small ball for a little bit, I think. Him and Otto have been switching on and off then and there, but the rebound numbers aren't really. They're solid for a 3-4.
It says that he's played 2% there, so it's 3% shooting guard, 95. I mean, he's not really playing the 4. If Otto's on the floor, he's not playing the 4. He's playing the 3.
Right.
It's just that he can switch because he's 6'7", 6'8" now.
Yeah.
With a 7'2", 7'3" wingspan. And he's athletic, but
that's a Clayton favorite right there for sure.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to find a way to get a trade for him for the last 2.5 years. Well, really ever since he was drafted. But it's finally starting to. I mean, the true shooting percentage is not going to hold up. He's not going to shoot 44% from 3 all year long. I mean, I could see him shoot 37, 38% from 3. That'd be totally fine. That would be valuable. The true shooting percentage will probably drop to about 54%. But again, that would be an improvement.
Yeah.
But this, I mean, it's not a guy that people are going to be like, ooh, ah, right now, but he's a good rotation player. And I think he's only 20. Yeah, he's 21. He's going to be 22 when it turns December. But, he's a guy I've always liked, and just someone that I've expected to start taking this jump. And, the Wizards are going to be, right now they are in the 5 spot, but
it's super weird right there, 1 through 5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's super early right now. Like,
yeah,
who really expects the Pistons to be above the Wizards in the by the end of the season, and same with the Orlando Magic. So I mean, like, you're looking at like a top 4, top 5 team, and he's playing 35 minutes, and I mean, I don't understand why the PER is so low, but the other numbers look fine. He's not, crap in the bed or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
at this point, I've just learned to just avoid PER.
Yeah.
A lot of analytics like hate it. A lot of people hate it in general.
It's not a very good one. But it's like I said, it's a young player, 22. I think someone said that he's the youngest player on that roster still.
That makes sense because they traded away their pick to Brooklyn.
Yeah. So he's a guy that I enjoyed. I mean, he did sock the crap out of John Wall in the back of the head. But whatever. At least he's throwing punches. But I mean, we'll probably end up talking a lot about him because he's a player that I would love the Lakers to snag, and especially like if we start to look to move it big. So
yeah, or at least someone in the same mold as Oubre.
Yeah, exactly.
Another player I wanted to bring up, who has become one of my favorites, and maybe I think one of Clayton's as well. But Tobias Harris has been carrying the load for the Detroit Pistons thus far. He's been putting up some really crazy numbers. I don't bring it up fast, but he's been shooting over 50%. Obviously, that's not gonna stay, but over 50% from 3-point line. He's averaging averaging 20.9 points per game, about 6 boards, and he's shooting 46.3% from the 3-point line.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been games where he's just absolutely carried the Pistons and put up 30 plus. And seeing him shoot the ball really well is also really good to see, because I think a lot of people don't really realize how good Tobias is because he's stuck on the boring Detroit Pistons.
Definitely.
But he might be the best player on the team.
I don't really think that's really debatable. I mean, I mean, like, people are going to probably say Avery Bradley, and a lot of people.
Avery Bradley, I can see the argument.
But I think now, especially that they're playing him, the 4, and they're starting him now. I've always liked Tobias. My problem was when he was a restricted free agent. We had just drafted Randall, Randall was coming off that injury, and then of course we drafted Nance right after, and it just didn't really make a ton of sense. But I've got two guys real quick. First, Clayton favorite, Clint Capella. Right now, he's got a true shooting percentage of 750. 752. That's just stupid. Usage rating of 18.6, which for Houston, that's pretty impressive. A defensive rebounding rate of 36.4%. That's just stupid. And again, like I said, PER doesn't mean really anything. But he's got a PER of 32.09. It's just really. It's really, really crazy. And a guy who I've always liked dating back to his days in Houston. I know that like the contract is bad and especially like if he is hurt. But in 5 games, Chandler Parsons he's got a true shooting percentage of 765, which is just insane.
His defensive rating is like really, really good too. I was checking today,
Yeah.
and it's like number one.
I'll look it up real quick. But I think he's shooting like 65% from three on a lot of attempts.
Jeez.
It's per game. It's 3.6 attempts in 16.2 minutes. So he's putting it up, and he's shooting 6'11", 61%. So not quite 66, like I said. He's a guy that's going to be coming off the bench for now until he proves that he's healthy and everything. His free throw shooting is crap, but I mean, like, it's good to see a guy who is a lethal shooter.
Oh yeah, there were nights where he might hit 10. Like
yeah. It's just good to see him showing some stuff again. You know, I mean, like it's not anything crazy again, but he's a guy that I've always just enjoyed watching. And anyone shooting 61% from three, like, even if it's in 16 minutes, that's quite a run right there.
Well, obviously the Grizzlies fans don't agree with you because they straight up boo Chandler Parsons when he gets put into the game.
Yeah, well, I mean, and then he goes out and puts up, makes 2 out of 3 threes.
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely. I mean, you're not gonna want to trade for the guy, obviously, because the contract is mammoth. But at least he's showing signs of life, instead of just being injured all the time.
Yeah.
Last person I wanted to bring up, and this is mostly just because I didn't think that high of him last season, but he's been going off this year. Victor Oladipo's been like an all-star for the Pacers so far.
Yeah, that's
I don't know where that came from. Yeah, he's putting up 25.5 points per game, 3 assists, and almost 5 boards, and he's shooting 47% from the 3-point line on 5 attempts per game. And almost 2 steals a game. I don't know where the hell this came from. I mean, I didn't even see this when he was in Orlando.
No,
I didn't see about this high of a volume.
Come back down to earth.
He will.
It's just freaky. Like, I mean, it's crazy to see. It's just I mean, it really hasn't really even helped him that much. They're 3-3, but yeah, he's put up just some insane lines lately.
Yeah, and he's really just been kind of just taking the team, putting the team on his back, at least for now. I mean, he's just been just throwing up shots, and he's been making them. I mean, it's not going to stay at 25, but I can see him continue this maybe 20, 21 a game, and maybe in the East that could be an all-star.
Yeah,
an all-star bout right there,
especially in the East.
Yeah, especially in the East. There's not a ton of guards over there anymore. I think is anyone else, any team specifically that you wanted to bring up that's been surprising?
In Orlando,
yeah,
them being 5-2 is just, they might not win another 20 games, but I mean, just being real, unless like Aaron Gordon is fully arrived and everything.
Oh, he's that game against the Nets where he had like 5 threes and like 45 points. He was absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, I'm not discounting him right now. I just
no, I know, but I think he might be here now. That's just my opinion, but yeah.
Yeah, Pistons being this good right now, I don't know about that. But then the Grizzlies and the Clippers being this good. I mean, again, we're 5, like, teams have played between 5 and 7 games, so you have no idea how good they are actually going to be. But the Clippers starting off 4-1, Blake Griffin looks like
4-2.
4-2.
They just lost tonight, so.
The Clippers? Oh, well, yeah, 4-2.
Yeah.
But they were looking. He was looking like MVP candidate from 2 years ago, or was it 2 years ago when Chris Paul was out. Grizzlies being 5-2. That's
Marc Gasol's been playing like an MVP.
Yeah, I mean, it just, again, kind of surprising. With how bad the Timberwolves on defense, it's surprising that they're 4-3 to me.
Yeah, they've won a lot of close games.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a couple, just several teams that are just like, what? Like the Thunder. I think I said that I thought that there would be a top three team in the NBA,
Yeah, I thought so
and
too.
I mean they're 3-3 right now, which again doesn't mean anything. Nuggets, I said I thought were going to be a 7 or 8 seed. They're 3-4. Again, doesn't mean anything. Paul Millsap
Yeah.
has looked start the year. Um, I mean, the preseason game that I went to, I don't think Millsap was that great.
Uh-huh.
Again, preseason, small sample size and everything, but it's just they haven't. Jokic and Millsap haven't gelled like I kind of thought they would. Jokic has had some pretty bad moments lately. Um,
Yeah, he started the season off really poorly, but a couple
yeah,
games in a row.
he had a game or two here and there that were like holy crap. But yeah, it's everything. It's going to take a while. Really, you can't judge anything for the first what really 30 games in my opinion. You
Oh
can
yeah,
start getting it. You can start getting a gist of teams like like of course the Mavericks are going to suck. I mean, unless they just go on some crazy Heat run like the Heat did last year.
I mean,
But
unless Dennis Jr. turned into LeBron, but yeah.
yeah, I mean they're 1-7 right now. They should probably play Nerlens Noel more. He's the last I checked, he had been good, but then again, I've had a crappy week due to school.
Fun.
Yeah, oh yeah, loads and loads and loads of fun. But I'm going real quick to Nerlens. His defensive box plus minus is 1.6 with a BPM of 0.9. He's only averaging 19.1 minutes a game. Like he should probably be playing more than that.
Yeah.
Like I understand Carlisle and him have not gotten off to like the best of circumstances, but he's kind of a difference maker on defense. I've only been preaching it for how long now? We know the Hawks aren't going to be good. We should know that. We know that the Bulls aren't going to be good, and the Kings are starting out 1-5. So like you can get gists of stuff like that, like who's going to be bad. But I don't. I mean, like Cleveland right now, if
I think
if
they're the one team that I'm like legit scared for. I mean,
the Cavs,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, like, because they're only 3-4, but like people were saying, adding Dwayne Wade was a huge, huge thing. I never quite got that. He aged, and
He hasn't looked good.
because now he joined the Cavs, that we can just kind of assume that's done. Like, I mean, that he stopped, but whatever. Let's see. I mean, the Heat being bad, that's not a huge surprise to me. I didn't understand that run last year, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's been. I think now more than ever, teams need some time to gel, and especially new teams. And there's a lot of new teams this year. There's a lot of rookies. There's a lot of super teams that have added a lot of pieces. Teams like the Nuggets, teams like the Thunder, the Rockets haven't gotten that off to that hot of a start, but Chris Paul's hurt. But these teams need time to gel, and I think in like 15 games, we're going to see some different stuff. I don't think we're going to see the Pistons and the Magic in the top 5 in the East anymore. But it's been a weird start to the season, especially with teams like the Cavs and the Warriors losing on the same night like 2 times this season now. It's just been weird. All right, so let's move on to the Lakers. So I want to start with positives, so we don't lose our mind off the rip. So Clayton, what have been your positive takeaways from our first 6 games so far?
That Josh Hart was a very good pick.
Mm-hmm.
He was a very good pick. I was still wrong on Kuzma. His Kuzma's shooting, his 2-point shooting has been awesome. His 3-point shooting, like I said, was a concern still looks like a concern. He's shooting 25% from three. But Hart looks good. I want to see Thomas Bryant play.
Oh yes, please.
That's kind of selfishly of me. Ingram has had spurts. He's looked good and he's looked bad. But those let me real quick go to his game logs. He had the game where it was 25 points. Yeah, 25 points against Phoenix. He looked good. He had 10 rebounds against Washington. He looked pretty good there.
He had 11 points in the fourth in that game too.
Yeah, Utah. He looked. I didn't get to see all of Toronto, but I didn't get to see all of Utah. I got to see like the replays, but not
Utah. He looked really good to me at least because he had a lot of.
The thing with Utah, the thing that really intrigued me about Utah was one, you should never really attack Rudy Gobert, but he apparently did. Like I said, I didn't get to see all of it, and he apparently finished a couple times over or around him. I didn't see it, but just from all the talk on Twitter, that's good to hear. I mean, he's got length. I mean, Gobert is the lengthiest guy in the NBA, but you know, like him being able to do stuff like that is good to hear. There's still going to be a lot of work to do with him, but he's showing signs of progress. You know, the game against Toronto looked like it was a pretty big stinker. The one against the Pelicans, he didn't shoot well. He's had 3 games where he shot well, 3 games where he didn't shoot well, and the 3 games that he shot bad against, you know, those were 3 games we lost or weren't even in, because like even the one where they lost to Utah, we lost by 15. They
were in it,
but yeah, you know, they were within 6 for a good portion of it. So,
but then Donovan Mitchell happened.
Yeah, I turned that on. It was interesting.
Before Mitchell had that dunk.
It was about a minute and a half real time before the Mitchell dunk. And then all of a sudden, like I had seen it online already, but then like seeing it live, I was just like, holy crap. And then he got like a defensive stop, then he popped a 3, and then he got another defensive stop, and then like I think he made another basket, and like there was just a quick succession of him just killing it. And and then of course the lead, you know, got bigger, but Toronto, they should have been in it. They were up.
They were in it.
I mean, I did not see the second half of that one, so I cannot. I can't. I went to bed. I had homework that I had to do, so I wanted to get a good night's sleep, and I thought I would wake up to good news, and then my phone had like 200 notifications from everyone just saying, "Yeah, I don't. This one's on Luke. I don't know what happened. This is ridiculous. This is stupid. What are they doing? I don't know." Like, you know, it's just. It was.
Oh yeah, it was like, bad.
I was like, I'm glad I missed that one.
Yeah, that game, Luke put it in the bench lineup at the wrong time, then he took him out at the absolute wrong time. I mean, they were tied or up by 2 when they took out that bench lineup of Randall and Kuzma and Hart, JC, and I think Corey Brewer, and they were, and then they put in that starting unit, and then the starting unit gave like 10 points in a row, and we were down by 8.
Yeah. I think we're going to get into the starting lineup in a few. But a guy that I constantly give crap to, still would trade him in a heartbeat. Jordan Clarkson has had some really, really good moments. He's one of our best scorers. You know, it's not deniable. He's a good, especially as Tim, you know, friend of the podcast, Cranjus McBasketball, has said, like, he's a very good isolation player, but he's a guy that I just kind of hate watching for the most part. but
Yeah.
he's shooting 37% from three, 37.5% from three. Is he that
Our best shooter. Our best shooter, man.
Huh?
Our best shooter, by the way.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know. That's and yeah, you know what? I'll get into that in a little bit. But you know, he's looked pretty good, you know, scoring 15.5 points in only 19.3 minutes per game.
Wow, it's only 19 point. Wow. Oh my
That's
God. Why are our best players?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like the rotation is sometimes too long. Like Corey Brewer should never, ever, ever get minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Ever get minutes.
Yeah, let's get into the rotation. Let's get into the rotation on the next half, okay?
Yeah. His defense is so far the best that he's really ever played. 107 defensive rating, the best ever before that was 112 his rookie year. His offense, which is actually hilarious, is only 99.
Really?
But his true shooting percentage is 57.2% true shooting percentage. His assist rate is actually the highest it's ever been in his career.
Wow.
It's at 24.6%.
He has made some good reads, but then there's times where
Yes. I mean, like Clarkson is good at the simple reads where he can run off the pick and roll and then he can just throw it up to the dive man. You know, like he's good at stuff like that. Yeah. It says his defensive box score plus minus is bad, and you know it probably is because he's the first guard off the bench, and a lot of times there's a bad hole already. And you know that someone's two guard is already starting to go off. So I mean, like, who have we played? I need to go back.
I mean,
shoot me.
Well, let's see. DDR didn't really do much.
It's DDR. I don't really expect him to do much.
Well, I mean, he did well, but not when Hart was on him or when Jordan Clarkson was on him.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Well, I mean, like,
look
at who they played. The games where his plus minus was bad was the Clipper game. The Phoenix game was a -7, and Washington was a -9. Washington doesn't surprise me because he was either having to be matched up on Wall or Beal. Not a big surprise. Phoenix, I mean, Booker cooked in the first half, wasn't very good in the second half.
And Corey Brewer.
Yeah.
That was so great.
yeah, that was always great. Just put him on there. And then the Clippers game, I mean, just everyone looked bad. So whatever. But you know, like he's looked for the most part really good this year. I still do not really enjoy watching him play because he just pounds the ball a lot.
Yeah.
But you know, what can you do? He's I think he's the guy that I think that you can get an asset for. And they're gonna, if they want to get the two max players, I mean, like, people keep saying, no, you're not going to have to trade them. You're going to have to trade him. I've looked at it. Like, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to trade him, and then you're going to have to. I mean, I still don't know if you're going to be able to move Dang unless, like, you give up Lonzo or Ingram, and that would just be absolutely stupid. So you're just going to have to stretch him, but like, he's going to have to be gone. I think, like, you'd have to. In order to keep Clarkson, you'd have to move Dang. And in order to move Dang, you're going to have to get rid of Ingram or Lonzo. And they're not going to move Lonzo, so it's really they're going to be looked to move Ingram. And I think that would be a huge mistake. I know some people still aren't fans of Ingram, but I think that would be a huge mistake.
Yeah, there's still people salty about D'Angelo. I mean, as am I. But...
Okay. I love D'Angelo. Okay, I still watch him. He's like third in the NBA in usage right now, and like his defensive his shooting percentage is down now. He was cooking before, but like it's down now. But it's also the third highest usage rate from the last I checked. I miss D'Angelo too. He would have been obviously a good player to have. I don't care what any freaking person says. He would have helped. the defense wouldn't have been very good. But I mean, to be honest, KCP has had a lot of really bad moments as well. But it like that trade was not Brandon Ingram's fault.
Mm-mm.
You know, like why people throw so much like disdain for Brandon Ingram because of the D'Angelo trade. The Lakers made that conscious decision. Like it wasn't because Ingram was just like I don't even like it wasn't Ingram's fault that Ingram's fault that they moved D'Angelo instead of Ingram.
Right.
So why on earth are people freaking out about it? I don't get it. Like it's stop putting the blame on him because it's not his fault that he got moved. If you want anyone to blame, you can go back and blame Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak for giving out those stupid contracts.
And Magic and Pelinka for thinking they need to get rid of the contract now.
Yeah. And I mean, as we said at the time, maybe it would have been harder, especially with like no one having cap space. The Nets were talking about apparently trading for Dwight at the time before that move, and then they took on Alan Crabb. It would have been difficult to move that contract. But like I hate saying just get the heck over it, man.
Yeah.
It's not like get over that. Like get over it in the fact that it's not Brandon's fault.
Yeah.
If you want to be salty towards the front office, totally fine. I get it. I get annoyed with it still too. But it wasn't Brandon's fault. There's no reason to wish that Brandon Ingram fails.
Right.
Then all you're
make our team worse.
Yeah. Then all you're doing in that case is then you're just acting like the people that hated D'Angelo in the first place.
Yeah.
So then you're being a hypocrite. And
yeah.
I that's one thing that I have if you go back and watch the old podcast, I was not a huge fan of Lonzo. And do I still have guys rated at higher than him? Yeah, I mean, whatever. But I still want him to become a superstar. I want him to become great. I do believe that he can be great. But I'm just because I'm upset that he was the one that was picked and then D'Angelo got moved doesn't mean I'm going to be a hypocrite and hate on Lonzo. I don't think I've pointed out when Lonzo has had an issue or two, but then whenever he's had a moment, go Lonzo.
Yeah.
I don't understand that with the new with sports fans nowadays. You don't have to hate on your own team. Just let it be,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just I just hate that. It's so stupid.
It's rough. I mean, it's rough when D'Angelo's doing so well over in Brooklyn and thinking about Lonzo and D'Angelo together, and it's rough. But I'm not blaming. I've never blamed Ingram for it. I've never blamed Lonzo for it.
It's just something that we've talked a lot in the DMs with our boy Nas and Demario and Demetrius. But just it's. And if people are going to deny that D'Angelo wouldn't have helped, okay, Brooklyn has a top 5 half-court offense, while the Lakers have a bottom 3 half-court offense. And just so everyone knows, you play the half-court offense about 80% of the time. Yes, you have to worry about a half-court offense. You cannot just say that you're going – I mean, we'll get into this as this season goes on. But you can't just be we're just going to run up and down the entire game. No, you can't actually do that, because then you're going to watch the Pelicans, and the Pelicans weren't even trying to get offensive rebounds, because then they're like, oh yeah, then we can just stop them in the half court and then watch these idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that's what brought us back during that same Pelicans game. We ended up getting transition buckets, but it can't all be transition. You can still be a really good transition team and have other forms of offense. I mean, the Warriors are the best transition team in basketball. and they're also the best half-court offense. And I'm gonna say second because the Spurs are just machines, but still a top half-court offense in basketball. You got to be good at both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there's two things specifically I wanted to bring up that were on the positive side. The defense has been a nice surprise that we're 11th right now in defensive efficiency. Obviously, I don't think we're going to stay at 11th, but it's nice to see that we're actually improved on defense. And my biggest takeaway is Julius Randle's our best player. I know it's tough to kind of talk about Julius right now because we don't know what his future is. And, he might be gone in a month. We don't know. But he's been our best player on defense. I mean, at least to me, he's been the best player on defense. And the team's obviously better when he's on the court. And the fact that he gets less than 20 minutes a game is just not a good thing. I mean, the game against the Wizards, he blocked. When he was on John Wall was 0 for 4, and he had 3 blocks on him. Like, that's insane. Like, he's able to switch on one of the fastest guards in the league.
Well, there was a point where Wall just didn't even want to attack him anymore.
Yeah, because Julius was just taking them over. I mean, same with Brad Beal. I mean, same with Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah.
He was meeting them at the rim.
He's playing. Julius is playing less than 20 minutes a game, as you said. I'm not even going to factor in that Clippers game because that and the Phoenix game, he just didn't really try. He was pouting. Yeah. We all know it. Like he knows it. He shouldn't have been doing it. I understand why he was doing it. He shouldn't have been doing it, regardless. Yeah. He's as you said, he's probably our best player right now. I mean, like people can say Brook hasn't been very good.
No, he's been bad. We can go get the Brook,
but in he's been a +2, a +5, a +14, and a +3 in the last 4 games. He was a +14 against the Raptors in the game that they lost by 9. Yeah. Like he's attempting threes, like that 3 he made against Washington was that, saved us. He's hitting.
That was huge.
Throws. His rebounds are down, but
weird. It's weird.
But but like the lineups, go look at the lineups that they're playing in. That he's playing in, it's Kuzma, who hasn't been a very good rebounder, but he's had they're all able to just grab it and go. He's in it with Lonzo a little bit, with Clarkson, just guys that are able to grab the board and go. And again, 19.3 minutes a game, you're not going to be able to get a ton of rebounds, especially when they're trying to get him to, fill a lane.
I think right now his per 36 rebounding numbers are right at 10, or like it's 9 something. I want to say
it's 9.3.
9.3. So once he ends up getting more than 19 minutes a game, which I'm praying and hoping that
his per 36, and we all, his per 36 is whatever, okay. But in per 36, he's scoring 19.6 points, 2.2 blocks, 2.8 assists, which I think that's going to go up.
Yeah, I think so too.
9.3 rebounds, which that's going to go up.
Yeah, I think so too.
He's shooting a true shooting percentage. Where'd it go? 64%. That's going to come down. That's going to come down. But because he's shooting like 62% in from 2, but he's that said, he's also only shooting 66% from the free throw line when he's a career 71% 3-point or free throw shooter. So that's gonna it'll go up, but some things will go down. But he's been really good ever since apparently he just decided to stop pouting. As you said, it's a really this is the thing that you gotta like think long and hard about. Okay, like Randle hasn't been very good his career. We all like him, but just flat out he hasn't been very good. now the last 2 games he's looked good. But coming off the bench, of course, that's not what he wants. Will he ask for a trade? Will Mintz ask for a trade? Have they already asked for a trade? Who knows? We'll have to see. But there's still a glut at the 4 and 5, and he's playing.
All the minutes have to be at the 5, right? There has like a good 90% of his minutes.
He's playing 82% of his time at the 5.
Yeah.
He's doing. I mean, his on off. He's a plus 12.3 on off. Yeah. So, he's playing good there, but he's a free agent at the end of the year. You know, I've seen like someone say his cap hold is going to be 12.5 million. But then I've also heard like it's going to be close to 20 million. I'm confused now at this point of which one it is. So I'll go with the most recent one that I saw of like 12 and a half. If the Lakers are going to try and go for 2 max free agents, are they going to try and move Randall for some cheaper and then try and, they need a 2/3 that can shoot. Do you try and use Randall for like, I'm just going to throw the name out there just because I talked about him earlier, Oubre. I don't think Washington would do that because they already have several big men. But, like, do you do that? Or like, do you move Nance? Like, you're not moving Kuzma just because of, you just drafted him. But like, what do you expect him to? Where do you expect him to be? And honestly, I don't think next year he'll be with the Lakers just because they're going to be chasing free agents. So, like, now that he's not pouting, you just hope he keeps playing well, so then you can just get the most out of for him. So maybe around the deadline, you look to see maybe you could possibly get like a first-round draft pick or an intriguing wing prospect. I don't know.
I don't think they would trade him for any sort of prospect. That's my thing. I think they're going to try to get now talent for them.
A straight draft pick for him.
Maybe I think they're going to want to try to get something to pair with LeBron and George. I mean, I think what's going to happen is, there's not a lot of teams that have money. First of all, so I think I don't think Lakers are going to land on LeBron and Paul George. You don't either, but I think what's going to happen is that there aren't a lot of teams that you can say would throw the money out there to Julius.
Yeah,
and the Lakers can match it. I think what happens is we strike out early, and we end up getting it back. Honestly,
maybe. I think if he's playing like this, say like 25.5 minutes per game off the bench, because if he's becoming really good off the bench, then like that might be his best spot.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's. I mean, everyone said try and turn him into Lamar Odom. Turn him into Lamar Odom. I mean, I hate always going back to that. Which I mean, like I loved Lamar, but come on, people, just stop going back. Like,
yeah,
that's the reason why the Lakers front office a lot of the time is a big joke. But I don't see him back. I just don't. I don't know where I see him, but I do think because if he's not traded, then the Nance has to be traded. Someone has to. Like you can't have. I mean, like I've said I would move Zubats. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but like you can't have Zubats, who you just drafted, early second round. You can't have Thomas Bryant, who actually fits the modern NBA a lot better than Zubats. You can't have drafted 2 5s in this, early to mid second round, and both of them look super intriguing, and then have 3 fours that you just drafted. And then, of course, you have Brooke Lopez and Andrew Bogut. And, like, you're eventually going to have to get to the point where, like, oh, hey, we don't have a backup point guard that's very good. Like, I mean, I love Caruso. He's fun. He's not very good. Tyler Ennis. Do I need to say it about Tyler Ennis? Like,
I think Darius Soriano put it best. Just Tyler Ennis ass.
Yeah, Tyler Ennis ass. Like, I mean, he's not good. What did I like? In 5 games, he's played 25 minutes. It's not a lot of time. I totally understand it.
Oh, but when he's in, he's in.
Yeah, when he's in, you're like, holy crap, we're the lead. He's got an offensive rating of 52 and a defensive rating of 109. He's a negative 57 in 26 minutes. He's got a negative 3 PER. It's
wait,
11.
He has a negative PER. Wow.
I have seen a negative PER like 3 times ever, and Ennis is one of them. I mean, Ennis had a 4 PER, a 4 PER in Houston. Okay, he had a 6.6 as when he first got traded to Milwaukee. Like people. There was a reason why I kept saying it. They should look for a backup point guard. They should look for a backup point guard. Oh, look, there's a back. Oh, that backup point guard's gone. Oh, well, and then everyone's just like, you have faith in all the other young guys. Why not him? Because he freaking sucks.
Yeah, that's why I was so pro Jawan Evans and Derek White.
And
someone like Derek Walton Jr.
Yeah, like, I mean, Jawan Evans would have been a good guy to get. I still would have taken any of the guys that we took above him. Well, maybe not TB yet. Yeah. I did have Evans higher than TB, but just like there's a reason, like they don't even know who to play backup. Like Caruso came off the bench as a backup, like, and he's on a 2-way contract. Like, come on, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, they let Quinn Cook go twice. I mean, they didn't go out and get Wade Baldwin. They didn't go out and get
that one's gonna. I mean, and like Wade Baldwin ended up messing up his thumb. Like, when people are like, well, look, you could have, he would have been hurt. No, you don't know if he was going to be hurt anyways. You don't know that. You don't know that. Kuzma, for some reason, is not on Basketball Reference's roster.
Kyle
but
Kuzma?
Vanderblue is.
Kuzma or Caruso?
Yeah, Caruso.
Oh, okay.
Caruso. Yeah, I don't see him on the roster. But then when you go to per game, Caruso 9.5. Let's get him, pull him up. I mean, 9.5 minutes in 2 games. Like, he wasn't playing very good either. But I mean, I don't think he had a 5 PER, which is still 8 PER better than Ennis. Like, you're not going to get much out of either minutes of that, like, of course, because neither of them are playing a lot. But just Lonzo just turned 20, right?
Yeah.
It was his birthday. Was it today or yesterday?
A couple days ago. It was the 27th.
Yeah, so it was 3 days ago. Lonzo is 20. He's playing 35 minutes a game.
That's not how you use them. I mean,
yeah, well,
with a huge usage rate too, right?
I'll look it up. But he's shooting 28% from 3, like, and 31% overall.
Yeah,
like
he had to create his own shots a lot. That's the thing.
Yeah, his true shooting percentage is 38%, 38.5%. His usage is 19.7. I think it was actually higher before, but like,
I think it was.
This is not what you do. This is not what you do. There was a reason why we were calling for Ian Clark, like I still question how good he really is, but like he would have been a serviceable guy.
He definitely killed the Lakers when the Pelicans played us.
Yeah, I mean, like there were reasons why I kept saying over and over and over and over again, like again, and it's only 26 minutes this season, but he sucks. Like,
yeah,
like going back to like with Julius, like you're gonna eventually have to trade some of these guys. You know, like people want Brook back. Why? Like, I mean.
Oh man! After this past couple of weeks, I don't even want to see him in the game ever.
I mean, like one of our favorites, Ben Rosales, was already talking about like like maybe a playoff team would want KCP. Well, what if a playoff team wants Brook Lopez and they're willing to give us a first-round draft pick for him? You know, like you're gonna like you gotta look for stuff like that, you know. And I know people are just like, well, you want to be able to attract LeBron and PG. I still don't think that's going to happen. So,
well, I mean, even if they do, they're not going to play with Brook Lopez or KCP. Maybe KCP because he's cool with LeBron, but I mean, he's not going to play with Brook Lopez.
Yeah. Hi, Nelson. I see you.
What the heck?
But yeah, he's just in the YouTube chat. I thought two guys were him, Bro, honestly, and Boo. I think Boo is Nelson's buddy. Anyways, back to the chat. Like you're gonna need, there's two positions that really the Lakers don't need. It's the 4. You don't need another 4. Period. You don't need another 4 unless you're moving a 4 like to be able to dump someone and then you're taking on a short-term contract like Mirotic. Mirotic is essentially a 1+1. I saw a couple of people throw that out. I can't remember. Maybe it was Ben and Jerry. I can't remember. Anyways, and you don't need any 5s unless like you're going to be getting a guy that's like a Noel, you know, where you've got his right still and his cap hold probably isn't going to be that high. I'd have to look that up. But like what you need is you need a good backup 1. You need a 2. Even if you think Hart is the 2 of the future, you're still going to need to be able to spell these guys. You know, like you can't have Lonzo playing 35 minutes a game. You can't have KCP playing 32 minutes a game. Ingram playing 31 minutes a game. Like
the fact that he plays 31 and Lonzo plays 35 is kind of mind-boggling because
like Ingram is still obviously very skinny. Like he's starting to. I mean, he looks stronger and he's finishing through contact quite a bit better. But like, you know, that's about the minutes you want him to play, 30 to 32. But like Lonzo, he's a rookie. You're gonna want him to not be playing 35 minutes every game all year long. And then what happens when Lonzo goes out? We saw it in the preseason. Caruso was, again, was fun. He's still not very good. And Tyler Ennis sucks. So, like, those are positions that you need to look at. And, of course, like, people are just like, no, it'll be fun. No, it's not fine. It's not fine.
No. Okay. So I guess we're kind of moving into the negative area. We've kind of done that already. So I'm going to kick this off, and I'm going to start with coaching. Okay, and how has Luke been so far to you, Clayton? Bad.
Bad. His rotations are bad. He's consistently inconsistent. And like I still think Luke can be a great coach. I still think it. There's times where he draws up good plays, but he needs to stop bringing on his drinking buddies from Arizona. Like maybe keep Mermies, and apparently Simon has a guy that people love, but throw Mark Madsen to the Sharks. I still have no idea really who Jed Bueller is other than a former Bull.
Hey, he's a Summer League championship winning coach.
Like Stop getting guys that are just player development. You eventually are going to have to get people that aren't your friends, you know? And like, we can't just keep on hoping like Alvin Gentry is fired by the Pelicans.
Yeah.
You know, like you're going to have to get gurus, and you're going to have to get guys that aren't yes men. You're going to have to start getting those guys. Bottom line, they have to start. Like, there's no cap space for coaches. The Lakers haven't had a good coaching staff since of all people, Mike Brown. He had a killer coaching staff. We've got a guy who, Miles Salmon, I don't know if he ever coached before. I know Jed Buehler never coached before. Jesse Mermes was a NBA D-League coach, which is good. Yeah. I still like Mermes, but like, and then I think I'm missing out on another guy or two. But like, you've got almost all player development guys. Mark Madsen, who has shown he is completely inept. Like, I don't know why does the Lakers organization love him? Because he did a stupid dance during a parade? Like, why is he with the organization? Like, who does he have dirty pictures of? I mean, like Jeannie was already in Playboy, so like I don't know who
she was a Playboy. I didn't even know that.
I thought she was on Playboy. I don't think she like bared it all, but like I mean, that's her. I mean, her Playboy shoot was that's her Twitter avatar on Twitter, like, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah, I think,
yeah. Why is he there? And then of course my least favorite of them all. And people are like, well, why are you freaking out? Because he's not a good coach.
Hey, maybe he raps to
the only way I will ever forgive Luke for having Brian Shaw on the coaching staff this long is if he brings Paul George to the Lakers. That's the only way. Because like,
yeah, that's the only thing that he's really there for at this point.
He is so bad. Lay down, dog. My dog, since I'm in the garage, he has no idea what to do because he hasn't slept in the garage yet. This staff sucks.
Yeah,
it just sucks. Like I think Luke Walton.
Give me Jerry Stackhouse.
Why not? You know, like, why? Like,
mentor.
From everything I've ever heard, like, assistant coaches maybe make $150,000 a year or something like that. Mm-hmm. Throw Ron Adams a $3 million a year check. Like, is he gonna leave the Warriors? Probably not. But he's gonna think long and hard about something like that. Lay down. Like, pay up to get talent. The Lakers should never, ever, ever, ever have a bottom like coaching staff or analytics staff, and they're just inept in both of them.
Well, I mean, hey, the analytics seems to be getting better just with the hires they've made, but coaching,
yeah. I don't, and then to go into like rotations and everything, like Julius, I think someone said, I'd have to look it up. If Nas, if you're watching later, you're gonna have to remind me. I think Randall and Lopez, which is actually a pairing that would work really interesting. I think they played in 5 games. They played like maybe 8 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it was 8, and they didn't play at all in the Utah game.
Yeah, was it Pincus or was it one of Brian K? What are those? The two brothers.
It was neither. I'm trying to find it too, but I can't
remember who they were like. I don't know if they've actually ever met Lopez and Randall. Like, why? Why have
that was the Kaminsky brothers?
The Kaminsky brothers. There you go. Like, why have those guys not really seen the floor together? You know, like
I mean, we've been waiting for a stretch big this whole time.
Yeah. Lopez has not been very good at all. Overall he's shooting less than 40% from the field and 25% from three.
He's a big,
which is just kind of hilarious to me, because of all the talk of he's a top 10 offensive center. But like that's a pairing like that you would like to see, because Randall rebounds the ball. Lopez can't rebound the ball.
I mean, look at the rebounds Nance has been getting, because isn't he like 9 per game right now?
I think so. And Nance isn't even a good rebounder.
No, Lopez is like Hibbert, sort of. He's a good box out guy.
Yeah. That's what we heard about Hibbert too, and look how that turned out. But
well, I mean, Randall had his highest rebounding season of his career.
Randall had the most rebounds that year when Hibbert was actually off the floor. We had podcasts about that. So like, because I can't remember, someone on Lakers Twitter said, well, he plays with Hibbert. I can't remember who said it. And Randall actually rebounded better with Hibbert off the floor. Nance is pulling down 7.2 rebounds per game. He's never even had 6. I mean, he's playing, and he's only playing like 0.3 minutes more a game than he's ever played. So whatever.
Oh, but Julius played up to 30 with Lopez. He'd be game about 10 or 11 maybe. I don't even know.
Why those guys haven't played? Why hasn't the Lonzo Ball okay, so like the guys that should be playing a lot together are guys like Lonzo Clarkson, which I don't really like that pairing. I know that some people want to see it a lot more, but whatever. But like those two guys, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Ingram, Kuzma, Randall, and Hart. Those 8 guys or something. Those guys should be heavy rotation guys, and they should be playing a lot together. And I think it was Reed was saying that one of the lineups with the combination of all those guys had played like a combined 14 minutes or something like that.
I think it was that Wizards game.
Like it was only a few minutes, and like the plus minus, like they were like a plus 14 and like 3 or 4 minutes. So like I don't understand what they're doing. Like
the thing that frustrated me the most, at least recently, and it's been a while since I've been frustrated about this, that the Lakers have had winnable games. Like there's I haven't
seen the last 2, so I can't.
The last 2 were winnable games, 100%. Yeah. Especially the Raptors one, because we were up by 17. But winnable games that get thrown off the rails from this dumb rotation mistakes. I mean, the obvious best lineups against both those teams were the small ball lineups, and it wasn't even close. Like with Randall at the 5, even against Gobert, he did a solid job. I know they might have gotten a little bit out rebounded, at least the Utah game, but the Raptors game, Julius and the Julius, Hart, Kuzma, Brewer, and JC lineup, they were hanging with the Raptors, and they were tied or up by 2 or something like that. And like I said before, the starters came in, they gave up 8 to 10 points just to DeRozan, and then Luke decided to put those guys back in, and then they got to like 2, but then they're losing by 9. But
last year he would ride the bench until the bench was dead, and then like the bench was dead, and then he'd ride them another 5 minutes, it seemed like. And then like that lead that they had built had gone to crap. And then of course, like, because now the starters haven't played forever, so now like they're cold. So but he's not, then now he's a lineup will get hot, and then he'll like, oh crap, I need to get my stretch big Lopez in there, which at this point he's not a stretch big. He's
just a big
stretching. He's stretching. Yeah, he's just a big that stretch that stands back behind.
He's Andrew Bynum.
Yeah. It just,
I miss Andrew.
I loved Andrew.
He's only like 28, 29 still.
Yeah, I know. I
That's
know.
crazy.
It's just I don't know. Like I said, Luke needs to get an offensive and a defensive guru, and he needs to get guys that aren't his friends. He needs to get guys that are not yes men. Like, yeah,
Right.
let's try that. No, F you, dude. Like, this is what's gonna work.
I mean, Luke did that with Steve Kerr, and that's the reason why Draymond Green started over David Lee their first year in Golden State. I don't know why no one can do that for him,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's just
Luke's too busy yelling at the refs and not busy enough paying attention to some other things.
Yeah, I mean, it's early still, obviously, but I think they've dropped a couple games because of Luke being dumb.
I think like they should probably be 3-3. Like,
yeah, I think at least the Raptors game should have been won.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go and say that they should be 4-2 or 5-1. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Okay, they probably should have won one of those games.
Yeah,
I don't either, whether it be Toronto or the Pelicans game. Like the Jazz, I just think that they just got outclassed on that one. And then of course, the Clippers game that that was abysmal. But they probably should have won one of the Pelicans or the Toronto game. They should be 3-3, and they're just now they're 2-4. And I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. Let's move on to the individual player side of things. And is there one specific player that you had sort of high-ish hopes for, and he's been disappointing?
Has anyone been disappointing? Like, I didn't even have high expectations for Brooke, and I've been disappointed in him. That was a guy that people just swooned over. Like, we finally got an offensive. I
mean, it's not tough to beat Timothy Mozgov and Roy Hibbert.
Yeah. I was not on this train of Brooke is good, but people were making up, like I said, a top 10 center, and I never quite agreed with that. Like, I'm sure someone could throw numbers out and say that he was a top 10 center offensively, but no, I don't. No,
he just doesn't fit the style of the team. We want to run,
No, yeah, you want to run.
Brooke Lopez.
Like, if you want to bring in Brooke for a year, and use him as this base guy, if he was shooting what he has done his entire career, yeah, that'd be fine. Let me go back to his career stats. It'll be easy because with Brooklyn and whatnot, he averaged for his career 32 minutes per game, and with the Nets, shooting 50.6%. Last year he shot 34.6% from three. People were making him out to be one of the best stretch bigs out there.
I mean, he just shot it a lot. Really,
he shot 5.2 attempts per game, but I mean,
it's a lot for a big. At least last year, but
it's a lot for especially a guy like Brooke. But no, he was not the best stretch big. He's shooting free throws really well. But he's this year he's shooting 25% from three and 34.8 or 38.8% from rest of the field. So his true shooting percentage, his career true shooting percentage is 56.6%, and this year he's shooting 48.8% true shooting percentage. Like, he's been bad. Okay, he's been bad. His defensive box plus minus is 1.6. I don't know. His steals are up. That's the only thing I can really see is that steals. Like, his steal rate is 1.6. That's the highest it's ever been. But his blocks are 4.4. That's not.
Julius has a higher percentage than him.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I remember looking at like a 4.9.
I know there was a lot of people that said like at the rim verticality, he's okay. He's not like someone in a previous pod was like, look at his defensive field goal percentage. Like he was really good.
I mean, those numbers were brought up. I remember.
Yeah. And he still was not a top 15, I don't think, with even that. So, but if anyone's really been a disappointment, it's been him.
I think at least the last couple of games. Sorry, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Just for a guy who's supposed to, come in and be like this
instant off.
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily instant office. He'd be able to balance everything out, and he's just so bad. Like there are times when you see him just like, oh my word, that post move was really good, or like that shot, from deep looks good, and then it just there's been so many shots that were short that like he made a move and he had like no one there and it was just short, and I was just like, what the F are you doing? Like,
yeah,
come on, man. And then like the threes, like at this point he's gonna start having like zero gravity as well, just like Larry, because like you're shooting a lot, but you're not shooting well at all.
Yeah.
I guess the other guy that's been kind of disappointing is a guy that everyone was like, yeah, we got him, was KCP.
Yeah, especially the last couple of games.
He's shooting 37.5% and 27.8% from three. If he turns it to where he's shooting last year, 35%, if he shoots like 36, 37% from three and like 43% from two, like you're very happy. But like he's so hot and cold. And like,
oh yeah. His first couple of games, he actually looked really good in the Pels game and the Wizards game.
Mm-hmm.
But the Raps game and the Raps game, DeMar DeRozan was blowing past him, and then in the Utah game, Donovan Mitchell, Rodney Hood.
Well, yeah, and then I think I saw Joe Ingles go by him a couple times, and I was just like, how is Joe Ingles getting by anyone? Like, and like Joe Ingles, don't get me wrong, Joe Ingles is good. Okay, like he's very underrated still, but it's also a guy that's not a very good athlete.
I mean, he looks like a janitor. I mean,
yeah, he's just like tall. He's just a very tall janitor. His nighttime job after he gets done with the games is to go to Salt Lake City High School and clean the stalls. But like, in all seriousness, it's so hot and cold. Like, and I don't know if it's because he's like only the last two he's played 27 and 28 minutes. And then like the first two he played 30, and then the game against Washington he played 41 and a half. Like I don't know what it is, but like
he played really good defense on Wall and Beal too. Which and then you look at,
which is funny because like in four and 3 out of 4 games he's played in, the Washington game was his only game that was a positive. Plus minus. It's very, very tricky. It's very like it doesn't really mean anything really half the time. But like -17, -19, and -20 for the other games.
Yeah. Especially the Pels game. They started off really bad.
It's really funny. His offensive rating is 92. His defensive rating is actually 103, which is actually pretty good. His offense is just really bad, but I don't. Just those two, you kind of expected, like, oh yeah, those are some. I mean, like, well, and like KCP should be like running a pick and roll action, and he should be coming off of screens, and he should be being used as a secondary playmaker. And they're not.
I put that more on Luke than anything. That thing.
I agree, but like, it just.
I don't know.
Those guys have just
this team
pretty just disappointing. I mean, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's even more frustrating when I know that we could have at least we could have won maybe one more game or been in games more. It's more frustrating than knowing our team isn't that good, so obviously we're gonna lose. But when they bring it so close, it makes everything more frustrating when it comes down to tactical errors and not player errors. And there have been player errors, of course. I mean, there's been times where they messed up, but I mean, sometimes they messed up because they shouldn't be in the game, and it's a bad matchup. And Julius Randle, he's been really good at switching and really good at protecting the rim. But then he does really well. Then you come in and you bring in Brook, and you expect him to do the same thing against really athletic guys like Serge Ibaka, or even Pascal Siakam was like killing him too in that Raptors game. OG against him a little bit.
I don't like Luke just thinks that when a traditional big is in, he has to bring in Brook, and that's kind of getting to be a concern for me. Like, this is a guy who in Golden State who was really imaginative. He was creative. Like, he did a lot of that really interesting stuff. And now he's like, oh, Rudy Gobert's in. Like, we got to get Brook in there. Like, while
I watched Julius Randle
bring Gobert out, but like you like you just don't there you need to take advantage of, like, Randle is a fast guy who you're playing the 5 at primarily. Like, use that. Don't just like, oh crap, I've got Lopez. He's a former All-Star. I should put him in.
It's funny, like even when the thing that with Brook Lopez, you think, oh, when we're playing against the Clippers or the Jazz or the Rockets, you can use him to bring out and touch those guys out. The game against the Jazz, Gobert wasn't even bothering going out there. He was staying inside. No.
Well, and like they cared so much about him in the Clipper game that DeAndre ended up having 26 rebounds. Like, they're like, yeah, okay, go ahead, shoot.
I mean, if it was a close game, he was easily getting 30 boards.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just hoping that Luke can please just stagger lineups more and just stop having. Don't turn into Scott Brooks. Don't put your starters and then your bench.
Don't put that evil on me. Don't put that evil on me.
I don't want that to happen. That's like one of my biggest fears right now, because I know how good the Wizards could be if only they stagger minutes and have Beal play with the bench or John Wall play with the bench.
Yeah.
And they can be. I mean, but they don't. They play Tim Frazier, who I actually kind of like, but Tim Frazier is there with Jody Meeks and Dennis Scott, and
it's just like I said, just so like he's trying to match up with them. No, stop doing that and try and make them uncomfortable.
You gotta take advantage of that kind of stuff.
Like and I understand because they think like Brook is a very good stretch big, which I still question. Like you're trying to get Gobert out there, but you're gonna like you want to run and you need guys that can rebound and push the ball. So maybe you should put Randle in more, like not just 20 minutes a game.
Yeah, I mean, it's been frustrating just to see Luke kind of just hinder himself by doing this kind of stuff. Before we end, I want to talk about one more person that I wouldn't say I've been surprised or disappointed in, but he's just been a rookie. I want to talk a little bit about Lonzo. The one thing that I think I would be a little worried about more so than the beginning of the season is his finishing around the rim. A lot more now because his numbers are pretty brutal when it comes to around the rim. I don't have it with me right now, but I remember a couple of games ago someone said he was shooting just under like 30% from like around the rim, which is very, very bad. I mean, this all goes back to just the Lakers trying to use him like he's a lead guard, and I don't think he's a lead guard. I've never thought that, which is why I hate to bring it up again, but which is why I love the fit with him and D'Angelo, and
Yeah.
and especially when Lonzo is such a great off-ball offensive player.
Yeah.
And he's able to cut really well, and he's able to go backdoor and catch some lobs, and I haven't seen that action at all. Or if it has been used, it's been minimal.
It's the only time he's been able to get up and do even a alley-oop attempt was in transition. Field goal percentage by distance for Lonzo.
Yeah.
Okay, 2-point field goal percentage overall is 33%.
Jeez. Okay,
at the rim, so 0.30 to 3 feet from the basket, 37.5%. From 3 to 10, so this is like floater range,
Yeah.
0%.
He hasn't shot a floater?
I think he's taken one.
I could have sworn he's made
he's taken a couple floaters, but they were in this 10 to 16 range where he's actually shooting 66.7%. Or 66.66666, whatever.
On how many attempts?
I don't have the attempts. I just have percentages. Shooting only 8% from that, 8% of his field goal attempts. Is only 8% of his field goal attempts are there. 43.2% of his field goal attempts have been from 3, where he's shooting 28.1%.
It was better last night or last game.
The dreaded mid-range, he's taking about 11% of his shots from mid-range, and he's hitting 12.5%.
Yeah, he's made one. I remember the one he made, and it was so awkward. I'm like, oh my God, Lonzo. He really needs to work on that. But
I don't want to bash him because
no, I'm not trying to bash him either. But
he's put into a very bad spot. Okay, KCP should be helping out, and this is why I've been that Randall should start. Is just okay, I understand that Nance has the better quote unquote team impact numbers. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have to look at the needs of Brandon Ingram and Lonzo. Is they need a guy that can help create, and Larry Nance has so much gravity that it's negative. No one's guarding him when he's 5 feet away from the basket. So
yeah,
it's just very and I'm not trying to put down Larry. Larry has put up good numbers. It's just that Larry is, I don't know if it's the yips or if he just confidence or what, but he's afraid to shoot from any type of distance. It's just people dare him, and he just won't do it.
Yeah,
to their detriment, but it's just, Lonzo needs help. Okay. Lonzo needs guys that are going to spread the floor. And currently right now, I'll go back to team. We'll go shooting. No, I don't want that type of shooting. I just want basic 3-point percentage, just so. Okay, we have one guy shooting league average or better of 37.5%. That's Jordan Clarkson. We have a combined 3 guys over 30% from 3. Brandon is at 30.8%.
Mm-hmm.
Randall is at 33.3%.
On 3 attempts.
Yeah, on 3 attempts. I'll go more total. Just so I can get the attempts. Clarkson has shot 24 24 threes. He's made 9 for 37.5%. Randall shot 3, made 1. Julius has taken 13, made 4, so 30.1. Lonzo has taken 32. He's made 9 for 28.1%. Caldwell Pope in 4 games has taken 18, has made 5 for 27.8. Kuzma, who this is why I've said like I worry about his shot more than other people, has taken 20. This and like dating back to like preseason, he did not shoot from 3 very well. People thought he did. He didn't. It was like 30%. He's shot 24 threes. He's made 6 for 25%. And Brooke has taken 20 and made 5. Josh Hart. I expect Josh Hart to shoot around 32 to 34%. He's
only shot a couple, right?
He's only taken 5 and he's made 1. And then Nance has taken 2. Brewer took 2.
I remember one of those.
And Ennis took 1. So those are 5. Those are 5 attempts and 0 makes. The team is a combined 27.8% from 3. That is not going to work.
Yeah.
You need to get guys that can stretch the floor and look at all the guys that I was talking about in free agency and the draft. Well, the draft. I mean, I still think Kuzma's going to shoot 33, 34%. I do think Brooke is going to come up. I don't think he's going to shoot 25%. And I do think Hart's going to come up. But like,
I think Lonzo's going to come up too.
No. I think Lonzo's going to come up too. He's at 28%. I think he'll shoot 33 to 34% as well.
Yeah.
But like, you got to realize like the offense, especially the half court, is not going to be good in the NBA unless you have shooters, and there's none. There's no shooters on this team.
I mean, we saw when
Clarkson's shooting well, but like Clarkson overall in his career, like I heard someone call Clarkson a sniper on a telecast, and I almost peed myself from laughing so hard. He's a 33.5% three-point shooter. The best he's ever shot was his second year, 34.7%. That's, I think, league average is 35%. So he's not even a league average shooter for his career. So like Lonzo is going to struggle until people start making shots. And that's kind of like duh, but like it's true. You know, he's not going to start being like, until people make shots. And
you know, and the game people did hit shots. It was that Wizards game.
Yeah. Well, then the the game that Lonzo scored well was the Phoenix game, and no one else was shooting well, if I remember correctly. That was now a while ago now.
But like, I remember a lot of Lonzo's like the reason a lot of people liked him was because he saw things happen before they actually happened. And I saw that the Wizards game, because there was a couple of plays where he hit Kuzma right before he even looked, and he hit KCP right before like he was at his spot, and they were like perfect passes. But I get to see it like a lot because of people aren't making the shots, you know, and
Let me look at his game logs. Just for shooting. Like the game where against Phoenix, he was 12 for 27. He was 4 of 9 from 3. Like that was a good game.
Yeah.
You know, like it was pretty good. But the Pelicans game shot like crap. Washington game shot like crap. Every game except the Phoenix game, he shot like crap.
Yeah.
And it's hard to have an impact when people aren't making shots. You know, like again, this should kind of sound like a duh moment, and he's still got a 31.3% assist rate. Like, I mean, he's making an impact in ways, but and he's rebounding well. He's at 7.5 rebounds per game with 7.7 assists per game. But does that make him a true point guard though? It's not 8 assists per game.
Oh, damn! It was close. It was there for a while. It was there for a little bit. He had 9.
Okay, I'm just playing. But you know, if people want this team to actually do anything, they're going to need to acquire shooters, and they're going to need to take away the glut and try and find those shooters at like the 2 and 3 spot. So
yeah. I mean, it's been. I mean, I think it's been a more exciting season than we've kind of anticipated.
Yeah,
which is it's a lot more fun than this game. Seeing us lose 50 games and not really seeing any progression, but I mean, so far it's been fun. But so tomorrow I think they play the Pistons at home. That's gonna be an interesting one because the Pistons are good right now, and we'll have to see how they match up with Drummond and Tobias Harris and Avery Bradley and stuff. So I think we're gonna end it right here, and we've been on for almost 2 hours, and it flew right past me. I had no clue. We're gonna try to start getting that more frequently if we can. But hopefully we'll get to it soon. We still want to cover draft. I'm still looking forward to cover draft. We're gonna get that going. So I think that's it. Anything else you want to say, Clayton?
No, just sorry that we haven't been on as much as we'd like. Nelson has crazy school load, and
stupid stats.
And I've had a ton of crap with class as well and work. So just gotta try and get it to get everything streamlined. We're still working on it. So.
For sure. All right, so I think we're gonna sign off. Thanks for joining us, and see you guys later. Peace.
Bye.